Zerafa, here he is, online.
What's happening, brother?
How the hell do I get shit going down? I got all the comments. Do I turn the comments off?
They're all in my head as well.
No, I don't read them, Mick. I think you read them too much.
Oh, I don't even call Tim out again. Have a look at these guys, mate. We give them back to Australian boxing. Why do you think he doesn't want to fight me? People say it's all about the money. I'm throwing out $1 million. If it was about the money, why would I throw away $1 million? People don't understand, mate.
I'm trying to get these comments off so I can see your face.
Slide it across.
How do you do it? Shit.
Oh.
Bring the
I got no idea. Have a look. All the Timmy supporters are coming out.
Mick, how's it been for you today? Because digitally, you have been the talk of Australian boxing today. Tim Tsyzu, to be fair. And we said congratulations to Tim Tsyzu. I'll throw a few questions at you very, very shortly, mate. You tell us what's going on. It sort of hit me left field when I got up at 4 a.m. this morning. I had to report on something else, but obviously then this was thrown out, and I saw some stuff from No Limit about 10 million, and I touched on that before. What's going on, mate? What do you think? What do you want to do, and what's happening?
Look, credit to Tim, on his win. Great performance. He's growing each fight. But, I say all the time, I've done what Timmy's done, and Timmy hasn't done what I've done yet. And, he's growing and he's doing well. He's looking good. But, I've done what he's done. I've beat Jeff Horn. He fought a 36-year-old. Credit to Hogan, but he's, past his best. And everyone's going to say, oh, you fought Munzine. But, again, that was a fight I didn't want. It was just there, you know what I mean? Timmy didn't want it. So that's why I had to take another fight. So for me, we've thrown out an offer for $1 million. Like you said, 60-40 is a big thing. It's beneficial for myself as well.
Yeah.
And we don't need him. As we've talked offline, we've got big things in the pipeline. Huge fights overseas.
Yeah, I wanted you to tell the fans about that. I haven't spoken about that yet, so you can touch on it.
Yeah, look, we're in our talks now with huge fights in the WBA interim world title, which is going to make me mandatory for Murata, the original opponent after the Jeff Horn fight for a world title. So, everyone's talking about Tim Tsyzu fight for a world title. I'll get there before him. This is what people don't understand. You got all these keyboard warriors and Tszyu this and Tszyu that, and I've got all these guys left on follow back because they don't know boxing. You know what I mean? And they can say what they want to say, and I'm the villain, and they don't like me and whatnot. That's fine. I'm happy to wear that. But again, people don't know what's actually happening in the boxing world, and what they think and what actually is happening is two different things. And I said I've moved to number 9 in the world. I'm 6 in the WBA and 1 in Australia. And for me, I'm just waiting patiently. Tim, the offer's there. There's $1 million. We can split it. And I'm happy to even give him 60-40. It's never been about money for me. People think, I'm offering Tim $1 million. He offered me 65,000. So let's talk numbers. You know what I mean? And tell the people the truth because they always make it like I'm the bad guy, and unfortunately, it's not the case.
So I don't know where you tuned in. I spoke for 25 minutes before that, and I spoke a little bit around how the boxing world sort of moves through sanctions, rankings, Al Heyman, No Limit, Brian Amatruda, and I basically broke down how all roads can lead to Zerafa versus Tszyu or Tszyu versus Zerafa. Did you get a chance to watch what I spoke about there, Mick?
I tuned in maybe just after that, actually. But, we talk obviously off camera and stuff like that. And, like I said, it's a fight that needs to happen. It's a fight that, I'm number 1, he's number 1. We're very close to a world title fight. I'm a lot closer than he is. So the people that, think that he's getting a world title fight in his next fight it's rubbish. So, for me, again, I don't need to prove. I've proven how, big my balls are. I fought the best in their backyard. Tim fought Hogan, who I like, and take nothing away from Tszyu. Everyone thinks I'm out here because I hate Tszyu. I'm not. I'm just trying to put Aussie boxing back on the map. Why would they want Tszyu to go overseas and get hurt when, we can bring it here and keep it? This is where boxing goes wrong. They try to go overseas. And, why have that when you can have 2 Aussies fighting for a world title here? In a huge blockbuster. It's a fight that everyone wants to see. And, if the other night I was hitting him with those shots, he wouldn't be able to walk forward. I'm experienced. I'm world class. And I've knocked out a lot of people, and out of my 28 wins, I've got 18 knockouts. You know what I mean? So I've got punching power, and I'm hurting my opponents, even Mundine. And he said, even in my prime, and he fought a division heavier than me. He goes, I've never been hit like that. You know what I mean? He goes, you got ridiculous power.
Did say that.
He goes, you got ridiculous power, and even my sparring partners, I'm sparring 80 kilo fighters. Even when I used to spar Blake Caparello, all the other guys said, mate, you got tremendous power. You know what I mean? You got the power of like a light heavyweight. You know what I mean? And this is what Tszyu doesn't realize. You know what I mean? And off camera, they've all said this is what people don't understand: what goes on camera and what goes off camera. They've said, Zerafa's a huge risk. He's got a lot of power, a lot of experience, and they said, he can definitely upset our tea party, and that's what people need to understand.
Mick, we'll touch on Hogan versus Tszyu. What did you, or Tszyu versus Hogan? What were your thoughts? I gave my thoughts before it when Tszyu sort of calmed down a bit, got to the, well, he was always in the fight, but he wasn't worried about the shock resistance. Round 4, he really started to tee off, and then round 5 he got it done. What did you see, without being critical, what did you see where Tszyu could have been better, and your thoughts on the fight?
Look, credit to both boys. To get in the ring, you got to have heart. You got to have, you got to have a good pair of balls to get in the ring. And it was a good fight. Tszyu's he's very composed. He's very relaxed, very composed. He looked good, but again, Hogan, I knew going into that fight would be a lot more experienced, and it showed because Tszyu hurt him prior to actually stopping him and couldn't finish him, and that's just purely on experience. But Hogan, he's never been a puncher, and I knew that was going to be the weakness in that fight, because he was landing at will. He was landing overhands. He was landing the jab when he wanted to. He was dictating the fight, putting the pressure. And that's what I said. You can't land body shots on someone that's hitting you with power. You can't walk forward if you're getting hurt. And again, if I was in front of him, or these Charlos in front of him, Tszyu can't do that. Tszyu can't be that composed, that relaxed, and just wear overhand rights. You know what I mean? With someone that's got 20 KOs on their resume. You know what I mean? And myself and the guys overseas, we know how to do that. And everyone's talking about Zerafa fought a 45-year-old Mundine. He's a 3-time world champion. He's my division. You know what I mean? Tszyu's calling out guys out of retirement from 63 kilos coming up. You know what I mean? Like, I got offered Bowen Morgan like 7 years ago, and I didn't know him then, and I still don't know him. You know what I mean? Now the talks that he's offering Lenny Zapavinya a fight. It just shows that there's $1 million on the table, and he'd rather fight Lenny Zapavinya, because there is no world title fight. This is what people need to understand. But again, I just kick back, relax, and like I said, I got WBA interim world titles happening. I don't need him, man. I got big things happening.
What did you see in the early rounds? Because people can say, the fighters don't think that. And then obviously if you're with your mates or your partner or whatever, or, what I mean? What were you, when you were watching Tszyu and Hogan, you're thinking to yourself, this is what I'd be doing to yourself. What did you see? What would you be doing without giving too much away?
Oh, man, I'll be closing down that distance. You know what I mean? He loves that little hop back. He leads with that leading hook. There's levels, and I know there's levels. Guys that are coming out of retirement after 4 or 5 years don't know that. They've only fought at Australian level, but there's angles, certain angles, and I know exactly how he fights. You know what I mean? And we've spoken off camera, and we've broken down that fight, and he'll get a huge shock, him and all the Tszyu fans. And like I said, once I shock the world yet again, and I'll just say I told you also. You know what I mean? Like, this to me, it's not new to me. You know what I mean? I know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So
do you see better? Do you see? Because I do.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
I take nothing away from Tszyu. It's he can't help who his dad is and his last name, and this is what I want people to. I want people to realize that I'm not the actual bad guy. You know what I mean? Like, I can go fight whoever tomorrow, and who I fight and what I do to make a living doesn't affect anybody. But people saying, Zerafa, you're greedy. You had your opportunity. I'm putting $1 million on the line, and my team are putting $1 million on the line. He's putting $60,000. You know what I mean? There's levels. You know what I mean? There's levels. If it was about money, why would I put so much up? Why would my team put so much up? You know what I mean? So for me, like I said, it's just the fight's there. You know what I mean? We want it. Let's give Australian boxing fans what they want. Two of the best going at it. Mundine Green did it twice. It's time for Zerafa Tszyu to do it. You know what I mean? Why? You're a fighter. You know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw, I'll fight.
We've had some great domestic fights. Even Gil.
It's turning heads all around the world. I've got guys from, and yourself, that are interested in the fight, all the big name promotions. You know, you got Matchroom, you got Top Rank, you got FightHype, you got all these guys that are tuning in and saying Zarap Tszyu. Yep. And I'm the bad guy all the time, but I'm happy to do that. You know what I mean? That's fine. I can be the bad guy, but the real people that know who I am, and you have guys that have come in before. I always give my time. I always give back to charities, and I'm always doing giveaways to help families. Obviously because the virus was tough, and I'm just doing me. You know what I mean? And I always have time for anybody, and I feel sorry for my haters because if they knew better, they'd be doing better. You know what I mean? So, I thank them, and like I said, man, time will tell.
So you've got two ways, Mick. So you said before you got some stuff happening in the WBA with a potential world title eliminator. There's obviously your 6 in the WBA. Obviously that would be with a top 10 opponent. And I'm not going to, I don't know, but obviously there's names there from probably 3 or 4 right through to 10 that are all craft. You've got that option, haven't you?
100%. We got big fights, big opponents.
Oh yeah. So. Yeah.
We got big opponents, you know what I mean? We got big things and some big names. And now it's just sitting down with the team and picking, stylistically which is going to suit us the best. And like I said, we win that title and then we get a world title shot. And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? I don't need Tim. And respectfully, Tim doesn't need me. But the sport, Australian boxing, the fight fans, the hype, it's real, and like I said, I'm here. I'm ready to fight, and don't disrespect. I wanted the fight. I said when they even offered me the $65,000, I said yes, but my team said no. They said, look, we got your best interest. You're not fighting for that low of money. It's disrespectful. You know what I mean? But I'm not financially struggling. You know what I mean? I don't. It's not about that. If it was about money, I would have quit. Years ago. But for me, it's don't disrespect me. I've been all around a bit. I've laced up with the best in the world. I've beaten the best in the world, and. You know what I mean? Horn, he beat him as well. You know what I mean? And he hasn't done things like, he hasn't gone 12 rounds with Cal Brooks. He hasn't won the Commonwealth title. He hasn't fought Peter Quillen. He hasn't done this. He hasn't left Australia. Yeah. He's been a sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao. Big whoop. I was sparring all the best in wildcard. You know what I mean? I was living in LA and I was sparring the best over there. You know what I mean? And soon I'm going to be making the transition. Being welcomed back over there now, and I've got big things in the pipeline, So for me, I've got big things.
Mate, doesn't matter if you're here with me, mate, covering the sport here. Shout out to Australian Boxing Central, Toe to Toe, all these other ones before the fight. Everyone does a great job. As soon as Michael Zerafa hops on a plane in New York or LA, Luna gets a camera.
Chairman, mate. Luna knows he's boxing.
Well, that's just the level that it's at. If he gets off a plane on England, we've got one coming through there. Singapore, Atlanta. This is a worldwide thing. FightHype, we are the biggest channel in the world. We have done the most views. We know how to report on the boxing. I shared about that before. Liam Smith's coming up fighting against Kurbanov. I know Tszyu mentioned that word, Kurbanov, and he also spoke about Magomedov. Magomedov was a funny one, and not disrespecting No Limit in the team. Magomedov hasn't fought for 3 years.
Is that a risk?
Yeah, Magomedov, the Russian guy.
Is that what I fought?
I think so, yeah. Hasn't fought for 3 years. I was thinking, shit, I hope Tszyu doesn't fight him. He'll kill him. But
that seems what he seems to be doing. He's waiting for everyone to retire or be inactive for 3 years, 4 years, and then plucks them out of nowhere and fights them. You know what I mean? Fight someone that's world class. And
I don't want to be criticised for dissing Tim Tsyzu, but I thought, shit, that is a potential fight. Like the Kurbanov and the Magomedov fight for Tszyu and the Russian product, that's a go-to-market plan for Russia. I cut my hands off. But the Liam Smith Kurbanov one, that's probably one that Tszyu could go if you went your W. Because there is a chance, Michael Zerafa, you could get to a world title shot quicker than Tszyu. Would you agree?
100%. And like I said to the public, if Tszyu got offered for a world title fight and it was announced and the contract was in front of him, I'd be telling Tszyu, don't worry about me. Go overseas and bring it home, brother. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do what I've been in that position. I'm not going to do what Horn did to me. You know what I mean? Once I beat him, he declined me that fight. You know what I mean? But I stuck to my word and I went out there and he beat me fair and square. You know what I mean? So I credit to him and his team. But if that fight comes through to Tszyu, I say, mate, go over there and shock the world. You know what I mean? But he doesn't have that. So what's his excuse for not fighting me? Money's been put on the table. You know, there's been titles being put on the table. There's been everything. He's running out of excuses. And surely these people, even if they're Tszyu fans, surely they're realizing that he's actually not fighting me because there's a reason. He said I'm a risk. I'm too big of a puncher. I'm this, I'm that. But I don't know, man. Like so that people will start realizing.
What do you say to Tszyu? But when Tszyu says at the press conference last week, and we ran it on FightHype, like they spoke about these big names, and then someone actually asked. I was quite surprised. It might have been Bradford from Sporting News about this talk about Zerafa, and Zerafa will, he'll be part of the process in the way. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, like I can't really say much. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm here. Like I said, if I'm his first pick or his last pick, I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go. But I know you can't mix. I've been overseas, man, and I know, and you've mentioned prior, you know what I mean? Like, there's levels to the sport. You know what I mean? There is levels, and he's growing. But he's not at that level. I was 19-0 before I lost. You know, at 26, he's 26, correct?
Yep.
At 26, he's fighting Dennis Hogan. People need to realise at 26, I was fighting Cal Brooks for a WBA world interim in his backyard. My wife and my ring announcer, a match room. You know what I mean? At 22 years old, I was fighting Peter Quillen, the biggest puncher in the middleweight division.
Oh,
yeah, you know when I was fighting for world titles, he was still, you know what I mean, drinking warm milk before bed. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm saying. People don't realise, you know what I mean?
We realise, Mick, that's why we have to break it down.
Yeah, like I said, Tszyu, I've got nothing but respect, mate. You're doing good things. But, man, stop hiding. Stop running. You know what I mean? You say I'm an ex-girlfriend, I won't go away and I'm an easy fight, then shut me up. You know what I mean? You can say what you want in front of a camera, but I know, you know, Nick, I know, my team know, his team know. I'm a risk. I'm too dangerous, as you put it.